and welcome to PM&M's podcast series, Lead, Learn and Grow. I'm Helen Clayton, the managing partner here at PM&M, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here with David Dunwell, Chief Exec of Lancashire Mind.
Morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, very well.
Good. So, a bit of an opportunity to speak about Lancashire Mind, if you will, please, just to explain what's really important to you about Lancashire Mind.
So Lancashire Mind, first and foremost, are a mental health charity. We cover the county of Lancashire, and we're part of the Mind Federation, which is kind of a network of local mental health charities across the country, linked to Mind, the charity Mind. We have been around for a long time. Our oldest part is nearly 70 years old now. But we've been a registered charity for about 25 years, and as Lancashire Mind for the past 15 years. We deliver a variety of services, all focused around mental health, from housing through to anti-stigma work, through to kind of complex one-to-one work to support people and work in schools. So a range of services, but all designed to support people and make a difference. And we use the slogan, I suppose, connecting, supporting and changing minds. So all of our projects will do some or if not all of those things.
Yeah. And how do you keep on top? I mean, the world changes, doesn't it, every single day? People change, society changes, we've got external influences, we've got our own minds and influences. How do you as a charity keep on top of all of that so you remain relevant?
With difficulty. It's really challenging, actually, and societal pressures make a big difference on people's mental health. So things like the pandemic and the cost of living have been two huge impactors on mental health in this county and across the country. And so we have to find ways to kind of continue to evolve and support people and monitor needs. So thinking about what is happening and why and what we can do about it. But ultimately, mental health always means something different to everyone, but it ultimately always comes back to connection. So, and connecting with people and supporting them in different ways. So that's a continuous. The groups that we work with, the type of work that we do does change based on the kind of external factors. And I'm a big believer in working with young people as well, because they're to create generational change, creating young people that have learnt to talk about their mental health and to be resilient and cope with change is a big part of that.
Yeah, huge. I can see that. So you mentioned 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Big birthday this year.
Big birthday, yeah. It's been a great opportunity to take stock, look back, reflect. As soon as I'm talking to an accountant by trade, looking back at all our old accounts and looking at what was going on 25 years ago compared to now and the different services, what's the same, what's changed. But it's been a great opportunity to kind of raise the profile of Lancashire Mind and look at a couple of little projects to highlight people's journeys. We've done 25 stories focusing on the difference that Lancashire Mind has made to 25 people. Wow. Or 25 different kind of focuses. Then I launched our ambassador scheme, which has been a real success, and I'm really proud of what we've been able to do there in terms of engaging people from across the county to talk about their journey with mental health and to raise the profile and use their areas of influence to help us achieve what we're trying to achieve and make changes. And some other things as well. But it's been great and a really good opportunity to celebrate, but also to look forward about the challenge still to come.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really important to pause and celebrate, isn't it? I think we get caught up with life, whether it's home or work or whatever else is going on for us, and we don't pause enough.
Yeah.
And actually that reflection time can be really valuable.
Yeah, I think it's. I think we're all guilty of that personally and professionally, and in fast-moving businesses, whether charities or not, you sometimes don't celebrate the successes as much as you should because you're moving on to whatever's next, or if in our case, sometimes it's winning some funding for a project, and then you end up focusing on the project itself rather than sometimes celebrating the fact that we've managed to get it over the line to be able to make the changes we want to. So it's I think we're all guilty of that.
So prior to being the CEO,
Yep.
you were a trustee.
That's right.
How does that transition, or how did it work for you, and what were your kind of challenges? Because you're sitting on the outside with some great ideas and, you know, really proud of being a trustee, and then you are right at the heart of it, in the doing, in the making things happen. Yeah. What was that transition like?
Yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, a trustee of a charity is a voluntary position, and it was something I did because I cared about the type of work the charity did and the difference they made, and I really enjoyed being a trustee, actually, and probably the exposure to as a trustee was the reason that I wanted to take on the role. I think it benefited me actually more than anything because it gave me a perspective from the board, looking at the organisation, and obviously I had my own thoughts around what I would have done potentially differently, or what was going really well and what we could build on, and all that kind of stuff. But obviously from a board point of view, it's more of a strategic role, whereas, as you say, the chief exec role is that crossover between strategy and operations. So it's very different, and some of my perceptions of things in reality weren't quite the same but when I started looking at it from the inside, I suppose. But I think overall it just helped me gain a different perspective because I already worked in the third sector for a charity, so I kind of understood the pressures from that side of things, and then but at the time being a trustee was new to me. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the difference, and I'd like to become a trustee at another charity as well, actually, and kind of do that again because I got a lot out of it.
Yeah, really good. So you talked about previous roles. One of your previous roles was in the sporting industry.
Yep.
And as we know, mental health is huge in sport. How do you see those two working together more?
Interesting. I think there's different angles to it. I worked in football, and for charitable arms of football clubs that do some amazing work, actually. And their focus was more similar to the kind of work I'm doing now than being that connected to the professional sports world. But then obviously the other side of things is professional athletes have challenges around and use things like sports psychologists, etc., to kind of get the most out of the performance. But there's also themes such as gambling harms and various other things that are closely associated with kind of professional sport as well. So I think from our point of view, using athletes as role models, I think is huge because they relate to a specific section of the community that for people to relate to. And when famous sports stars and athletes talk about the mental health openly, it helps make it feel real and relatable for people, and that makes them more likely to access services when they need them, which is a huge thing, especially at the moment with suicide rates being particularly high. But then again, charities like ours could support professional sports teams, and we do have kind of offers that we think are important for everyone, whether it's an accountant's through to community-based or the education sector. Certain bits of training that we do, we really, really do believe that they're important for everybody to do, and just to help people understand how to have difficult conversations when somebody is having a tough time, or how to understand kind of mental health a little bit more, and things that are common to see, and spotting certain signs. So yeah, I don't know if I've answered the question specifically about professional sport there, but I think generally there's lots of work that charities like ours can do to help.
Yeah, really interesting. So well-being, how do you actually prioritise your own?
I think it's a really interesting concept because I can be guilty of not doing when everything that my organisation does and preaches through our work-based wellbeing work says we should. But equally, we do have internally at Lancashire Mind, as you'd expect, a strong wellbeing offer and big believers in flexible working. And I've wrote an article once about pizza lunches are great, but what else actually people want? Good management, they want flexible working, they want those kind of core, they want to be managed well. Those are more important than the little nice things. The nice things are the cherry on the cake, really. So we're big believers in that. In terms of my own, I mean, for me, it's about staying active and getting outdoors. I personally believe that they're the two biggest things for anyone to kind of help them manage their health and well-being. Everybody has their own things that are good for them. Those definitely fit for me, but I think if the whole nation did more getting outdoors and staying active, you'd see a tangible difference in people's well-being as a result. So that's what I try to do. If I can get to the gym a few days in the week, then I notice that I'm on better form. And
I echo that about the being outside and conscious of different times of year means different access to daylight, and it's about adapting with your flexible working, isn't it, to grab some of that daylight and that fresh air.
Yeah, I think I mean, you can get quite deep about this, but I think as humans we naturally kind of built and to spend time outdoors. We've created this world where everything is behind bricks and mortar, and that's not necessarily natural for our instincts. I think some of that reconnecting and being outside and in the fresh air, I think is important just in terms of who we are and how we function. So yeah.
So our last guest left a question for you, which is kind of along the same theme, which is, if you're having a bad day, how do you get that smile back on your face and yourself back on track?
Yeah, I think it's along the lines of what I've just been saying. From a personal point of view, it's getting active. There's no quicker way for me to feel better. But I think if you can combine that with being outdoors or socialising with people that I care about, whether that's family, my kids, or friends, then that's the quickest way to snap me out of it. So I'm a big believer in just getting up from your desk and going for a walk or doing, I think if you're having a tough day, just sitting there and trying to kind of muddle through it isn't always the best thing. Actually, you might be better to take 10 minutes out and get an extra 10 minutes productivity as a result at some point. So yeah, that's what I'd say. And
you just mentioned sort of friends and family and things like that, and that brings you straight back round to connection, doesn't it?
100%. Yeah.
So there's that fresh air, that exercise by just walking, and that connection with people.
Yeah, it's again, I don't want to get too deep with it, but I think part of the reason certain mental health statistics are where they are in this country and in this county in particular is we live in a world now where we're more connected than ever, but lack connection more than ever, because a lot of it is false connection. Sitting and scrolling on social media there's no actual connection there. It's just you're looking at somebody else doing something. Whereas, connection is having a conversation and speaking to people and understanding that, etc. So I'm a big believer in it, and I think it makes all the difference to do so, and which is why I like the idea of kind of hybrid working. I don't like the idea of everyone being stuck at home all the time, because I think you lack connection and you miss things as a result. A balance of the two is good. Connection, I think, is a big one.
And it's proven, isn't it? Because as we went into the pandemic and everybody jumped on Zoom and Teams and everything like that, everybody went, this is the way forward, this is the way we'll do meetings. And actually, very quickly, people, and especially around Lancashire and Greater Manchester, no, in person, that is the best way. That's how you get great conversation, great connection, and you you develop great business or new relationships or whatever it is, but it's the in-person bit that matters.
It is. I think just getting that balance as much as possible.
Yeah.
Obviously, the connectivity via the Teams and all that kind of stuff is helpful, but yeah, I'm a big believer in just there's nothing best than just doing it in person.
Yeah, same. So how do you measure success then, for you personally?
For me as an individual, or
as a leader.
I mean, charity leaders in particular obviously have that element of making a difference and seeing there's a rewarding element to that. So I think measuring success for me is about seeing the difference that we're able to make and equally I take as much out of the work as we do than the culture of the organisation as well, and getting positive feedback from people about it being a great place to work, and things like that. That's very rewarding for me as well. So I think it's both of those things first would be at the top of the list. The getting the chance to go out and see the difference that we're making. I find that rewarding, and that's that's the height of success for me. And then that culture element too.
Yeah, because the people in your team are incredibly important, aren't they, to drive that
hugely
external success
hugely
in the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
David, can I ask you to write a question for the next guest?
Okay. There we go.
Thank you.
So I don't know who this is going to be.
That's the element of surprise.
Okay. Should have thought about this before, shouldn't I?
Let's bring it on you.
There you go.
Thank you very much. So, final question.
Go on then.
To leave a legacy, you've got one thing to choose, and it can be anything, and it can be something that in reality is probably never possible. But what would it be for you?
It's interesting. When I interviewed for the job I'm currently in, I'd kind of had to present and put forward a bit of a vision, and I talked about like a mental health hub for Lancashire and what I'd hope. We're currently moving into our new offices, which is a step on the way, not quite there. So I think the adage about leaving something better than you found it, I think would be my minimum position. But what I'd love to leave is something that lasts and is around for a long time to come and makes a difference to lots of people. So something like that in that building, some kind of specialist mental health hub that's state of the art and really changes lots and lots of lives would be absolutely incredible. That's if the question was about me and my current role.
Yeah. Wow. That would be pretty special for Lancashire, wouldn't it?
Great. Yeah.
David.
Watch the space.
I will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.